On the road, Alec and Nora are traveling by car when they need to stop for a bathroom. They look for a roadside restaurant in the nearby town, but the place looks empty and the doors are locked. Still, Nora goes to the back to find a bathroom. There, she finds a torn and broken tent on the ground. The problem is that it has a wallet, documents, and a cell phone, which indicates that someone lost it, or perhaps something bad happened. After using the bathroom, she quickly returns to the car and tells Alec that she found a tent behind the gas station. Her boyfriend does not find it special. He thinks it was just trash, but Nora suspects that something bad happened there. After driving a few kilometers, the car's fuel starts running low. They need to find a gas station quickly. On the way, they see a woman whose car is stopped in the middle of the road. She thinks there is a problem with the battery. Alec immediately offers help while Nora tries to start a conversation with the woman, but the woman gets angry because Nora is not wearing a wedding ring. She asks strange questions about why both of them have not gotten married yet. She accuses Nora of being the same kind who does not keep promises like her boyfriend. This makes Nora uncomfortable. She tells Alex to leave from there and continue the journey. Back on the road, both argue. Nora says they should not have stopped to help that woman. Alex thinks the woman was just having a bad day, and he only wanted to help. The conversation stops quickly when they see a small restaurant and decide to stop. Inside, they only order coffee and water, but the waitress insists they have burgers and fries. Both agree, and while having breakfast, Alec notices a strange man sitting at the counter. He is staring intently at the TV. The problem is that the TV is off, yet he is looking at it as if he is hypnotized. Nora also thinks the same, but says it is better to pay the bill and continue the journey. She leaves Alec to pay the bill and heads toward the car, but while passing the counterman, he turns toward Nora and warns her that both of them are not safe here. Nora gets scared. Alec asks what happened, but Nora hides the matter and insists on returning to the car. The journey continues. Alec notices that his girlfriend is troubled by the counterman, but Nora wants to forget it and find a place to rest somewhere. A few meters ahead, they find a gas station. They decide to fill the car and ask for directions. As soon as they enter the shop, Alec asks the owner if there is any hotel or hostel where they can spend the night. The man tells them there is a cabin nearby. He shows the way and says the cabin owner will give them a good price. Alec and Nora thank him for his help and head toward that place. They do not know that the gas station owner is watching them with suspicious eyes from the window. Upon reaching the entrance of the cabin, Nora feels something strange around. She tells Alex to go back, but her boyfriend thinks she is worrying unnecessarily. Both need rest because they have been on the road for hours without stopping. Finally, they reach the parking of the cabin where a few cars are parked. This gives Alec confidence that the place is safe. Both head toward the cottage. At the entrance, they see a goat symbol on the ground. Nora finds this strange again, but Alex thinks his girlfriend is just overthinking. Both enter the house. The place looks empty, but there are several dirty plates on the front table, indicating that there are guests in the cabin. Both go upstairs, where they meet a strange man who is searching for something in a room. He quickly introduces himself as the owner and gets happy seeing new guests. He promises to take them to the available room in the second cottage. Upon reaching there, he tells them that earlier, this place belonged to Mrs. Anderson. She used to accommodate church groups and scouts, but after her passing, he became the manager and turned the cottages into a hostel for the summer. The conversation continues, but Nora is tired from the journey. She asks the owner to let her rest. The owner gets angry at the young woman. He says he just wanted to talk because he does not get many guests. Still, he allows the couple to stay in the bedroom and leaves after closing the door loudly. Alex scolds his girlfriend for her rude behavior. Nora apologizes and says she just needs a little rest. Alex agrees. Both prepare the bed without noticing that there are bloodstains on the sheet of the nearby bunk. At night, the couple falls asleep, but under the bed, a man wearing a sheep mask gets up and captures both of them. The next morning, Nora wakes up trapped in a cage. There are wounds on her face. She tries to free herself, but another man wearing an overall and a goat mask hits the cage with a stick, forcing Nora to stay quiet. He goes to call his companion. Then, Nora tries to pick up a stone lying near the cage. With great effort, she lifts it and tries to break the lock, but fails. A little while later, another masked man, this time wearing a cow mask, comes near Nora. He has a steel cylinder in his hand. He opens the lid and pours a liquid on Nora, causing her to faint. Several hours later, Nora wakes up in a warehouse. Her hands are tied to a chair, and her legs are hanging from a wooden frame. A little while later, a woman appears, this time wearing a rabbit mask. She applies a substance to Nora's lower body. Nora resists, but her efforts are in vain. The woman leaves her alone. Nora remains panicked, but soon the rest of the masked men arrive. They free her from the chair and take her back to the cage on a trolley. While being taken, Nora sees the property, which looks like an ordinary farm, but the masked people are performing demonic experiments on their prey. Limbs of victims are being removed by masked people. Finally, Nora is taken to a locked room. She runs to the window to look for her boyfriend. Nearby, Alec also wakes up trapped in a warehouse. His mouth is tied with a collar. He quickly understands that he is not alone. He shouts for help, but the captives just watch without hope. A little while later, masked men arrive. They bring a vehicle and prepare to take everyone. With barbed weapons, they drag the captives by their necks, then knock them unconscious with hammer blows. Alec resists, but he is also hit with a hammer. He faints and is taken away with the other captives. The masked people take the victims to another warehouse and give their belongings to a companion who is wearing a dog mask. Putting everything in drawers, he leaves with a bag containing human hands. While roaming the place, it is revealed that the farm works like a small village where masked people live and conduct their experiments. He reaches the local restaurant, leaves a hand in the kitchen, and goes to talk to his companion. He gives him a lot of money. Then, both take out another cage from the car containing another captive and lock him in. After finishing the work, the dog-masked one goes to meet his boss, who is the cabin owner. He tells the masked man that his client Rotter has asked for food and will arrive here in 3 hours, but there was a delay in the last shipment. The boss orders the workers to work faster because he cannot lose such a valuable client. After giving the order, he receives a call from Rotter. He wants to confirm that the food will be ready on time. The boss says yes and instructs the masked man to prepare a new batch for the feast. Both head toward the lock where they see the imprisoned women. Not only this, they are all being milked, and farm workers collect their milk with machines. It is revealed that unnatural insemination has been performed on the captive women like Nora, so that they keep producing milk continuously. But she feels that she can no longer conceive. She just wants to die and be freed from this torture. Hearing this, Nora becomes disappointed, but then she hears the crying voice of another young woman, Ashley. Seeing that more people are trapped in the same condition, Nora gathers courage and vows to find a way to escape from this farm. While she is thinking of a way to escape, the horse-masked worker searches for Ender throughout the farm. Reaching a warehouse, he finds a broken door. He enters the room and finds Ender hiding and talking to himself. Going close, the masked man sees that his companion is feeding his prey and repeatedly saying that he did not want to take the captive's life. He says anxiously that she provoked him, so punishment was necessary. Still, the masked man takes him to his boss. The boss asks Ender why he was not at the gas station. As punishment, the boss orders him to do household work and to keep him under constant watch so that he does not make a mistake again. His first job is to feed the captives. With the dog-masked one, he goes to the kitchen and takes a large pot of goat meat. Then, he takes the food and throws it in front of the cages like farmers do for their pigs. But when it is time to feed Alec, Ender throws everything on the ground and runs away. Again, out of fear of punishment, he runs toward the pond and tries to hide in the nearby greenhouse. Despite this, the masked man finds him, but Ender runs again. Carrying a potted plant, he chases him until he reaches the kitchen with the boss. Ender hides from his boss that something happened. He gives him the oregano pot for the feast as a spice. The boss gets happy and sends the masked men to the barn and orders them to bring that captive who can no longer give birth. They obey the order. Reaching there, they find the young woman without strength. She cannot even stand, but they show no mercy. They tie her hands with rope and the masked man stabs her neck, ending the captive. Finally, they collect her organs because they will be used as material for the feast. On the other side of the lock, Nora sees everything in panic and thinks there is no hope of escaping from this farm. A few minutes pass. She is about to fall asleep when she hears a knock at the door. Soon her lock opens, and on the other side of the door appears Alec, who somehow escaped from his cage. Although his head is injured from the hammer blow, he quickly tells Nora to leave the place immediately. Both escape from the lock. They sneak around the property and avoid the workers' eyes. With great effort, they get far from the farm and find a house ahead with a truck parked nearby. Without wasting time, Nora leaves Alec to rest and tries to start the truck, but it does not work. A few seconds later, a masked man appears on the scene, forcing the couple to hide behind the truck. The man understands that someone opened the truck door. He goes around searching, but Alec and Nora hide in time. He keeps searching, but from a distance, an alarm sound is heard, and he goes to check. Because of this, Nora and Alec escape and continue searching for an exit. Then they find a house that looks like a church. As soon as they enter, they see pictures of saints on the wall, but all are covered with the masks seen in the farm. At the same moment, looking from the window, Alec sees a masked man passing outside and quickly hides with Nora. A little while later, a man wearing a cow mask sits on a chair and quietly starts praying. The couple decides to escape, taking advantage of his carelessness, but the masked man gets suspicious that someone is nearby and moves toward the escapees. Alec is injured and cannot walk properly. Nora tries her best to help him, but they do not know that ahead there is a bear trap that catches Alec's leg. At the same time, the cow-masked man starts ringing the church bell, alerting his companions that the captives are trying to escape. He moves toward the couple. Nora tries to open the trap and free her boyfriend, but when the masked man comes closer, she apologizes and leaves him on the ground, running into the fields. Before leaving, she looks back for the last time and sees that another masked man has arrived. Both lift a heavy stone from the ground. They turn toward Alec, who cannot stand without strength, and crush his head with the stone. From a distance, Nora cries, seeing this terrifying scene, but she has to move forward. She runs toward a bridge. On the other side, she finds a lock. She hides behind the wall. A few seconds earlier, the boss arrives on the scene with Ender. Luckily, no one notices her presence. Nora sees a captive alive in a cage. Without being seen, she runs toward that man and asks how she can escape. He replies that the only way is the bus that is used to bring and take captives. The keys are kept in a cupboard inside the boss's house. Nora thanks him and runs away. But as soon as she comes out of the lock, Ender and the boss see her running and understand where she is going. Outside, Nora tries to find the boss's house. Then she sees a masked woman coming. Without wasting time, she hides among the corpses lying in a plastic bag. The worker does not see her. Then Nora sees another masked man at the farm's gas station, filling fuel in his vehicle, and follows him to the parking. There she finds a hammer and a tool in a bucket. Without hesitation, she picks it up, goes near the masked man, and hits him on the head. He falls unconscious, but more masked men start coming near. Nora quickly gets into the vehicle and tries to start it. Just when they were about to catch her, Nora starts the vehicle and speeds away, breaking the barrier. Everything indicates that Nora will escape, but her bad luck is shown on the dashboard that the vehicle's fuel is almost finished. Soon the vehicle starts slowing down. Nora has to leave the vehicle and run on foot. She reaches the kitchen. 3 masked men are still behind her. Nora runs desperately toward the basement. There she finds an exit. She tries to open the door, but the masked men quickly reach and try to pull her back. She barely manages to open the way, but one masked man tries to catch her leg. Luckily, Nora still has the tool. She hits his hand, forcing him to let go. Coming out of the kitchen, Nora sees that barn where she was trapped and realizes that the bus is right next to it. Before escaping from the vehicle, she opens the door of Ashley's lock and tells the girl to run with her. But as the captive said, the bus keys are inside the house in the furniture. Both run toward the house. Looking from the window, Nora sees the keys on the table and takes them running toward the vehicle. Finally, Nora and Ashley board the bus and prepare to leave. But when she looks toward the seats, all the masked men of the farm are waiting for them there. Several hours later, the boss, wearing a sheep mask, gathers all his workers at the table. In front of them are Ashley and Nora, who despite all their efforts have been caught and are now the main dish for the farm's criminals. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed. Like the video, subscribe to Cinema Recap, hit the bell icon, and let me know your thoughts on the movie in the comments section.